Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's Knowledge Insight, we are going to discuss about AI bubble and a hot topic which has been discussed by various news channels and various people. Let's discuss that in detail. First, let us discuss what is AI bubble. You may hear the terms like dot-com bubble. So, what does it means? Bubble is AI bubble is nothing but it's a high expectation, something like we have something in expectation but it's not going to deliver something like that. It's a kind of a over evaluation on AI, but the results doesn't seems to be as expected. We expect something very much, but the outcome or the results not going to be in the same way, or it doesn't have the currently we don't have the capability, but still we are hyping for something very very bigger. That's what the AI bubble is. But technically, we have seen many things in AI. Many things. Image generation, audio file. If you give the text, AI will generate an audio for you. If you can give you a prompt, AI can able to generate a beautiful image as per your request. Based on the prompt you are giving, it can able to deliver a beautiful and effective results. But still, how come we say it's a bubble? Actually, AI is a booming, right? Yes, there is no question. AI is in a boom. Yes, that's right. But what all the things makes us think it's booming one? Like the thing I said, right? The audio one. If you give the text, AI itself can able to provide a audio file. Even you can select multiple voices as well. Also, there is a big data available. The Google, Facebook, and other tech giants have a big data about us on us. So those are the key things for AI. AI is not a very new one. It's not just started in 2015. In earlier 900 itself, it has been there, but in 1980s, the research has been shut down since we didn't have much data on the digital part. Before 2000, we didn't have anything much in digital, right? So at that time, it has been shelved. We have to keep in mind that AI has been shelved in 90s, 80s because of the funding issue. Also, we didn't have enough data to predict something. So also, it's not just we get some from OpenAI. Everyone is getting few good productive results. It's not the only thing. There is a major impact in the machine learning as well. So machine learning as well. It's not a new term. It's machine learning is nothing but it's a kind of a, if it is a programming language, what we used to give, we give the input, the programming language has some processing way, and it will give the output based on our interpretation. Now there is a change in machine learning. What happens is we give the machine learning that this is the input, this is the output, and this is the way it's processing. Now it's not a single language. Initially it will be a single language. It's C, C++, Java, everything will be in different languages, and every language has their own flaw, their own pros, their own cons. Now what we're doing is we gave the system everything, in machine learning everything, and system can able to do whatever based on our request. They can select the language, they can select the model, and they can give the result. Initially we ourselves will choose the language, will choose the logic. Now system has the ability and capability to select the relevant model and logic to give us a output. So that's a machine learning growth gave us a sign that we are in a AI boom. Not only that, during dot-com bubble there is a learning. What learning is like? There is many companies has been created, many companies has been formed, and massive funding has been done on those companies in 1995, in earlier 1995. But in 20 earlier 2000, sorry, in earlier 2000, what happened is more than 70% of the companies are not able to survive. So what happened? So knowing this risk, now the companies are trying to invest in themselves in a different way. There is a article I read in LinkedIn. OpenAI kind of invested in Nvidia and Intel, and Intel is kind of investing back the things into OpenAI and Copilot. It's a kind of a web. Every tech company is investing within ourselves so that if something goes wrong, we can able to take a risk so that the entire company won't be get bankrupt. Let's say if single company is getting impacted, entire company will be gone. If I put the risk on other one as well means, let's say I put everything on other major competitor means, so what happens? Not only me, everyone. If something gets failed, everyone is getting impacted. If something getting successfully profitable means, everyone will be benefited. In that way, the massive investments has been poured across by the giant investors. Not only this, there is a silly thing I have noticed. In a company's perspective, the salary of an employee is a confidential one. It's a confidential within employee and the company. That's what they say. It's under classification of classified. Sometimes it will be restricted. But for AI one, we have seen Mark's CEO of Facebook has hired so many people, and their salary has been reported outside. Sam Altman has recruited few people. Their salary has been shown to the media, presses. Why do if in corporate world salary of a person is confidential means, why this was upfront told to media? They kind of saying they're trying to bring kind of a psychological thing into our mind, like these guys are paying this. The OpenAI, the AI thing is having very much big thing. They have very much thing to do. That's a high level skill they need to have. So that's what they're getting paid. AI, the whoever working on AI should be get paid very higher. That kind of mentality they're trying to bring, and it's a kind of a marketing gimmick. Truly, it's a marketing gimmick because AI doesn't give you any results till now, but still they're getting high pace. That's one thing. Also, recently in YouTube or Instagrams, we used to see product promotional videos. In mobile or some other product promotional video we have seen. But when ChatGPT recently released in a latest model, I think version 5 or something, for those as well on the same day of release, three or four tech YouTubers have given a video. They said it's very fine, working fine, excellent, everything they have said. So upfront, it's looked at a paid promotion. But on the other hand, in the internet, everyone was trolling Sam Altman for this move because the originality, the thing initially it was very good. Now the standard seems to be a little bit. There is something they implemented like kind of router to select the language model and all. That's it. But now the model doesn't able to give the initial outputs, but still they're trying to promote everything. You can at least see Elon Musk, Sam Altman, someone else, even they used to give predictions. They used to say in 2026 this will happen, in future in AI with this happen, everyone will be in peacefully. How can you just think about it? If AI going to take the jobs, then how the economy will work? How they going to have a peaceful way? They will say something will happen. So this kind of digital marketing gimmick has been happening across to make sure that we are in AI booming. So you may have a question. No, no. If you think it's a AI boom, it's not a AI boom, it's a AI bubble. What are all the things we can foresee? What are all the things made us to think in this way? Something is called overhyped promises. They used to say in future job won't be available, everything will be AI, humans will be replaced by AIs, and few companies AI has been HR department has been replaced. Every news they will say. But second part of the thing they won't tell. There is some recent company regarding development branch vertical. They implemented something for AI related PR merging thing and all. Now they are reverting back to the original way because the AI review thing. AI can help you to increase the quality. What they felt is like AI can helpful to increase the quality, not their productivity or the timing, because still they have to review the codes. Still, AI does some blunder and they have to fix the things. That's a overhyped promotion which is actually failing in the real world. Inflated company valuation. Thing is, let's say if what's the model of business? We have to build a company, we deliver some service for the people who has some issue, we will be delivering the service and for that we will get paid. Now the question is, for the last 10 years, OpenAI or other AI related companies, what they delivered as a value, but still the valuation is too high. Is it possible in a real time? Even that, just think about it. If ChatGPT gives some instruction to you, if you ask something in text and they give you answer, how you're going to make a money out of it? If it's a subscription model, whether the subscription is affordable to all the people. So those kind of challenges are still there. Also, none of the companies has reported major profit. They say the number of things are getting increased, we are scaling up. They still every gimmick story, but if you look at the profit way, there is no way, because there is a lot of concern in AI data collection and the data sourcing, data security, everything. There is a concern. These companies are running, there is no doubt, they are running based out of the investment, but last 10, nearly for a decade, they didn't found a way to make a profit. They are still working on a prototyping. They didn't actually give us any output model to work upon. Even there is a versions are available, version 4, version 5, everything is available in market, but will it a product? Will it can be a sold to a company? Will it helpful to have us productive in a different way? We don't have any answer, because I had some experience in Copilot. I used for minutes of meeting drafting. I used to send a transcript, and sometimes it is fine, and sometimes even when I send the transcript, people used to ask me a question: Is it right? These particular statements are wrong, so I have to re-go. The quality wise, it is fine, but it's not 100 percentage. People used to say it will reduce your work 90, something like that. Still we are spending initially I was writing something, I have creativity, I have think in a different way. I used to think in how can I put a bulleting, how can I set the details in a different way. Now AI putting everything in place, but still I spend some time on the quality part. So there is no, the product is not yet a functional one. We have something in AI, Copilot is there, ChatGPT is, everything is there, but the quality wise, if we didn't check the quality and if it answers something to the people, it doesn't have any value. Even another incident I had is, one of my colleagues used to update the product, the BRE document using the AI thing. It's like they put their own thing and they ask us, they'll say this is the format, just convert it in this way, and they get the thing. But those texts provided by AI is very high level. It's not understandable to the developers, or it's not at all in a way like expected. It's something in a different way. I tell this in a generic way, but their expectation in a financial industry, the expectation of the web particular front end client facing page is something different. So the product is not at all a finalized one, still it's working as a prototype. And the marketing power, I already told about the AI marketing, how they used to do. The interview will be like Sam Altman will say, even before a particular version, he used to say, he was like, AI can able to solve a complex problem. I was literally shocked, my existence, why I am here. So those kind of shitty, blundery, incapable interviews can promote AI in a different way. They, if Altman says, why I'm thinking I'm exist, they'll be like, oh, AI can able to do so much thing. But his, maybe his worry is like, why the hell why the shit I am delivering, I couldn't able to make a profit. Maybe that's his concern. But this kind of multiple incorrect interviews and other things is a kind of thing hyping this. This is kind of marketing power. We have seen mobile products, other gadgets review. Even nowadays, there is a lot of AI reviews happening across. I've seen few channels who is giving review on ChatGPT, this version, Gemini, this version. Every release they used to give some verdict on their thing, but none of them said anything bad about the AI. They say everything positive. But technically, as a user, sometimes I asked to give some summary. The first part will be very good, and the second part will be shitty. So those kind of things this marketing covers very well. Also, people very there is a lot of people used to speak about AI hiring. They used to say AI is a skill, AI is coming up, AI is taking over, will take over everything. But the question is, they say kind of they used to say that prompt engineering is one thing you have to learn and all. Yeah, prompt engineering is one thing. If you want to use a AI, you should know about. There is no debate about it. But Google is not hiring, or the Facebook not hired any people who is based in prompt engineering. If you look at the Facebook hired people, I think around 10 people, most of them are related to the mathematics, and few are been related to the psychology. So it's not a prompting. So we have to tell the actual facts. The AI skill is something different, hiring skill is something different. So which one we do, which one we need to have. So that clear distinction is not yet there. So even I've seen many people are saying that come to my masterclass, I'll show how to use AI and all. So they tell about AI skills and all. They just teach everything for a prompt. Even the simple, very basic prompt they teach, and for that they charge $99 and all. So those kind of skill and hiring gaps we have to or still exist in the market. Also, when you think about leaders, many chief executives, they used to speak a lot about AI. They speak like they have worked in AI for years and they know how the output comes in like that. They speak in that way. But I'm not sure, have they really used any AI for their actual work? You can see that. You can see multiple top level executing advocating AI. This can able to change something like that. But have they really worked upon? Have they know the basics about AI? Even the machine learning thing, I gave some layman terms in the start of the video. I'm not sure whether those guys know that much on the basics. Even the painful thing is, all AI leaders say, come and say that in 2040, world will be this much thing. Everything will be sorted out. Everything will be taken care by AI. They will be, I don't, there is uncertainty in 2025 and 2026. How can this idiot speaks about 2040? It's purely a marketing gimmick. There, if you're not able to deliver a product and couldn't able to visualize something, how can you predict future? There is, when I was in my early stage, one of my managers used to say that you can't predict future. You have to make your own future. So in my opinion, I still follow that one. You have to make your own future. You cannot predict something for your own. So keeping that in mind, I can. That's the reason I said these guys are idiots. All the AI leaders is idiot. That's the reason I sold this statement. These leaders maybe didn't have a correct vision, or they are something overconfident about themselves or their about their product. Let the time tell the thing. Also, not only these leaders, AI leaders, also there is lot of creators, influencers. Many speaks for money because they get paid for the AI thing, and few things that, oh, they didn't know about AI, but still they speak like AI is this thing, AI is that thing. So these kind of influential things, without seeing a result, without seeing a product, there is lot of talk around the town. That's why we are saying that these are the signs we have a AI bubble now. So what do you mean? So this is fine. We have seen why we are saying AI, but what's actual value of the AI would be? It will be something on automation, on productivity gains. Few things we used to have, right? Already in Outlook, we have rule setting options are there. Based on that, I used to filter few mails based on the category. If few mails coming from people, I used to put in some folders. Like that, for me, mail seeing a mail, reading a mail will take some time. Also, if the mails are from communication from companies, I won't read many of them. So those kind of productivity tasks, instead of I sit and read all the 1,000 mails coming to me, I can put rules and read the read the major things important for me. Similarly, this AI can automate the things on company level and productivity level for the people. And in healthcare and medical related things, we used to have some basic research, right? Every time we used to have some kind of combination, we used to have some kind of results and other things, right? Not even in healthcare and medical, in every part of the scene, every part of the research, we will be having doing some repetitive things. On those perspective, AI will be really helpful. And financial and risk calculation. Sometimes whenever I get time, I used to look on. I was working in a financial industry, so I I was interested in learning about the stocks, whether the stock is undervalued, overvalued. That's what I do mostly. Initially, I used to sit and I used to do the calculation manually. Now I go and ask the AI like, this is the stock, and give me the valuation, that's a fair valued or overvalued or undervalued. And AI used to give that. And recently I came to know that if I attach something in Excel, it will beautifully align that one, sort it out, and give me the clean list. So those kind of financial things, it can be helpful in a controlled way. I was only checking, I was using this AI only for and getting the stock details, undervalued or overvalued. But for those undervalued and overvalued things, there is many sites ask for money and membership. So in that way, I felt the AI is a good good take on this. Similarly, it has, if it is getting integrated in the app itself, definitely it will help some insight to people as well, other people as well. Also a digital assistant. What kind of digital assistant? In email monitoring, or in other time management, or your health, or your kind of a digital thing, or in the social media thing. So whatever the digital life you have, and that part A can act as a digital assistant. Also, with the governance and the relevant framework, it can help us to automate some repetitive tasks. This is, in my perspective, these are all the real value of AI. Yes, this is when you may feel like, but if you see this list, it will be totally contradictory to the statements made by Sam Altman or other great leaders of AI. The reason is why I have different opinion when compared to them is, as of now AI doesn't have any governance. It doesn't have any restriction. It's not at all safe. Not only, I mean, you can say that AI, Google is safe, Gemini is safe, ChatGPT is safe, this one, Twitter AI, that's safe. Yes, those are all not the only AIs. Based on the OpenAI's framework, there is lot of other AIs are using this one. So security is a concern which has to be governed. If AI is governed or under some restricted framework, damn sure we won't be get this much outcome as we are getting now. So that's the reason I have updated limited real value for AI. Okay, we discussed. We said there is a AI bubble is there. Yeah, there is a AI bubble now. And how come if the bubble bursts, if if the market realizes that this is a bubble, it's not at all a boom, what will happen then? There will be a market correction. Tesla and other companies which who are all invested in AI have their stock price hiked very, very, very high. Those will be corrected and the market will go back to a bigger hit. Maybe at least 20 or 30% of the market correction can be expected because Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, sorry, not Apple, I forgot the company name of Google's parent company. Everyone's stock has been skyrocketing, but they didn't deliver anything. So it will be a bigger market correction. Not only this, many companies has been using ChatGPT for their model, and based on that one, they try to create some other model or outline, and like that they used to provide something. They are not creating a new AI. They use a framework of the models from ChatGPT. Those kind of startups will have an impact because you have to deliver some value to the investors or customers, right? So if they fail to deliver, those startups which are not backed up by the major companies will take a hit. Since we all know that many companies in 2024, 2025, and even from the start of 2023 started investing money in AI. If the bubble bursts, if they realize there is a big gap, whatever we put money, wherever we put money, it's not going to return anything like we expected. How can they get the funds back? They have to wait. Yes, they have to wait from OpenAI or some other AI providers to scale up and provide the returns, and the funding will stop. Parallelly, only way they can able to compensate is they try to cut the jobs. They try to cut the jobs, or they try to minimize the things, or it may be two things. It depends upon the company and the process. They may cut the jobs, number one, or they keep the jobs, but the pay scale won't have any impact, or pay scale will be halved. So that's a risk we have. Since if the investor realize its AI is not going to provide any valuable output, they will fear investing in any other technical startup. It will become a kind of a lottery risk. Lottery risk is something like we believe in lottery and pay some huge money. If the lottery doesn't win, we lose our money. Those kind of It's a kind of a gambling. In simple terms, it's a gambling. It's kind of a gambling investment they will be ending up. Also, I said many companies are sending funds to across themselves. OpenAI investing in somewhere in Nvidia, Nvidia investing somewhere in other companies, and those companies are investing in AI, OpenAI. So what happens is circular financing happens. So this circular financing may, in their view, it may have a reduce the risk of being bankrupt. But the problem is all the people, all the companies, all the investors were part of those companies will take a hit. Let's say uh, recently TCS, HCL, I'm not sure whether Infosys is part of that, and Reliance, I know. Those companies are in a different way, directly or indirectly, they're trying to have a contract, some other working thing with OpenAI. If OpenAI has some consequence or they faces some failure in the delivery means, it will have impact on the Indian stocks as well. So it will become a bigger impact. Even OpenAI, the US company stocks won't be impacted. Even in Indian market, the stocks will be impacted. You may ask a question: If TCS or HCL or Infosys, those guys are have invested in OpenAI, they are the one holding the stock. So they are the one will be facing the consequence. Why should the Indian market will have a consequence? The thing is, if you look at the Infosys valuation, most highest Indian institutional investor will be LIC India. LIC India is actually owned by Government of India. So it will have impact on all the stocks. Simply, it will have impact on the books of Government of India. So all the companies, if you take the mutual fund way, stock way, holding equity way, whoever having invested in TCS, these companies will have impact. So indirectly, it will have a very bigger impact on our market. Also, the infrastructure cost. AI has some, even if you remember the recent, some old interview of Sam Altman, he said for even saying the word thank you, there is a lot of resource consumed by ChatGPT. But in terms of human, for our working way, we need only the servers, internet, and other basic things. If we compare the cost, the human cost is very lesser, but the workforce number will be high, but the cost for infrastructure for AI will be a very high one. Also, life of that infrastructure won't last for decades. It will be 2, 3, or 5 years. That's it. So those infrastructure costs, they already invested for AI, or they already invested for data centers. Now, if the loss comes in, means they can't be able to use the same infrastructure to other employees or other things. So those costs will be a loss for them. And we spoke about there is something called Great Recession, which happened in last century, and a bigger recession will happen in this century after 100 years. It will be a very biggest one ever happened in human history. That's what we can expect if the bubble bursts. If we believe if the bubble bursts, we say of the risk. If the bubble bursts, what will happen? Will it burst? Actually, we have seen what will happen if the bubble bursts. What is the risk? But will it burst? Absolutely yes. Because when someone is putting money on you, they try to get a value. They try to get a profit. If they didn't get a profit, means what will happen? The hype won't work, right? You can't simply sell something based on hype, right? You can't simply do digital marketing for decade and still milk the money out of an investor. So obviously in some point of time the hype may decline. They will see the real picture. But in long term perspective, there is a evolution is waiting for AI. There is no change. The adaptation and the AI innovations will happen in long term. Yes, that will happen, but the short term hype will be declined. Also, there is something at fundamental level, the governance, the data security, everything has to be put a fundamental, and then only the growth can sustain. With the current model, we don't have anything like that. You can put anyone's picture and ask for ChatGPT to give an image. You can put some Scarlett Johansson picture, and I can upload my picture and ask them to sit standing directly with each other. Those kind of thing I can ask. But in other way, those can be used in a different way. Those can be used with hacker or the illegal people to blackmail or loot money out of someone else. So those are all something darkly can happen with the AI without having governance. So the foundation, the governance, regulation, and the data usage has to be brought down in future, else the risk is very, very, very high. Also now there is the people advocating on AI will say AI will do everything, AI will do everything. But what's AI? For the skill-based workforce. Now recently for last 2 3 years, I've seen few dietic leaders, they didn't focus on people, they didn't focus on workforce. They simply say AI will do, will release people. So those kind of mentalities will be eradicated, and once again they'll be utilizing the skill-based workforce. We have a we are a country having a very large amount of skilled people in our country. Those people will get a job, will maybe very soon we will be back to the normal phase. So that can expected to happen in coming year. So in the end, what we are concluding, so AI bubble is something about to happen. So we have to look ourselves and focus on the real world application of things. We should be focusing on skills, not hype. We should focus on the basic foundation instead of just relying on AI. That is something recently I noticed on this AI people, the people who ever use AI to create some essays or create something valuable, something productive for digital media and all, they are not at all creative. Their creative brain is kind of diminishing. Whereas the people use their own skill to write their own thing, they are becoming more creative one. So that one we have to keep in mind. We have to start working and start reskilling up, reskilling ourselves in future to adapt with the future. Also, when it comes to social media, there is lot of shit. Everyone, many leaders, I've seen many YouTuber influencers come and say this is a, this is that is a, that will do a, this can be done by a, everything will be changed. Those are the shitty things. If you ask them in person, they don't know much about AI. Very few people knows, even in layman terms they can able to explain, but these idiots are just promoting AIs without, they didn't know the product, they simply promoting something since it was coming as a big. So be cautious and don't believe anything those idiots are saying. And important thing is you have to evaluate companies on the fundamentals. If it is OpenAI or if it is Copilot, if it is Microsoft, in Warren Buffett way, we have to understand the business, how the fundamentals are. If I go with Sam Altman's way, I cannot trust OpenAI because there is no fundamentals are there. They are kind of simply getting money, getting money, getting money, and and trying to build some prototype. They're not delivering to some product. They're still trying to some prototype, and based on that one, still trying to get some more money. So invest or look at the company based on fundamentals. This is not only for the investors, even for us. We shouldn't hear anything those hear or digest the unnecessary or incorrect informations are given by those people who doesn't have any good fundamentals at all. Also, we have to understand one thing. We have to agree one thing. There is no change. There is no doubt about it. AI evolution is a true one. It will happen. It's a kind of other step, other next evolution we are going to have after internet. But the thing is, we have to agree. Everyone should agree with me. It's not happening in 2025. It's not happening on 2026. We have a lot more to cover. We have a lot more to go through. And as per them, they may say AI is changing something tomorrow. The tomorrow is not from 2026. Thanks everyone. I thought this video will be helpful. we covered something in a different way, and we try to give some information from other sources. Thank you. We'll see you in future in another beautiful video with a good information.